So you've finally done it. You went ahead and you bought the camera. Why? Who knows? Maybe you have some need to express your angsty artisticness. Maybe you want to be the next Instagram baddie or Visco girl. Maybe, like so many people, you decided, you know what, I'll just spend a couple grand on retail therapy. Who cares? You bought a camera and you don't know how to use it. And if you're anything like me, you sure as hell aren't gonna read the manual. So here's your guide to figuring out how to use your camera. Whether you're using a professional DSLR or a compact point and shoot, this is gonna help you figure out exactly what you need to know when you're using a camera for the first time. Cameras can seem scary. There's a whole bunch of buttons, a whole bunch of words that you don't know what they mean, menu items that you don't think that anyone knows how to use. There's long exposures and focus speeds and drive motors and all this stuff that people just don't need to care about. I'm going to keep it simple and understandable so you know what you need to do to figure out how to use your camera. The first thing you should do when you get a new camera is figure out how to navigate the menu. It can seem complex with multiple menus for different things, but I'm gonna help you narrow down what you need to know on the menu for your first time using the camera. When you're looking through the menu, try to find any tabs that say something like mode, ISO, shutter speed, aperture, memory, and focus. These are the settings that you absolutely need to get started taking pictures. Most modern cameras have plenty of modes, ranging from professional mode to film simulation modes if you like shooting retro cameras. And that's all a bunch of bells and whistles. You really don't need that to take good pictures. I would recommend always shooting in manual. Shooting in manual is the best way to guarantee that you will get great photos no matter what. They'll be properly exposed, focused where you want them to be, the colors will be how you want them to be, it'll be perfect. After you've set your camera to manual mode, you need to go to the memory menu. Some cameras are equipped with multiple card slots, and you want to make sure that your camera is writing the images to the slot where you have a memory card inserted. If you don't, you're going to be taking pictures and not recording them. It's just going to be a big problem, and you'll get pissed off. So just make sure you take this step. It might seem like something you don't need to do, but trust me, you do. After you find the memory menu, go ahead and find the focus menu. Always shoot in autofocus. Try to avoid shooting in manual until you're really good at checking focus. If you rack your focus wrong, your images will be terrible. Let the camera do its job and let it focus for you. Next up is shutter speed, ISO, and aperture. Most commonly referred to as the Illuminati, or the exposure triangle, actually. Sorry, don't trust me. The exposure triangle will guarantee that your images come out perfectly exposed, meaning they're not too light, not too dark, there aren't too many shadows, there aren't too many highlights. If you properly expose an image, it'll be perfect every time. Next up is shutter speed, which is how long the shutter of your camera remains open, letting light in. A longer shutter speed means a brighter image, and a shorter shutter speed means a darker image. For example, this is a short shutter speed, and this is a long shutter speed. More light was let in the second time, meaning the image will be more exposed than the first one. Next up, aperture, which is how much light the lens lets in. This can be a little confusing for a new photographer. Basically, the lower the f-stop, the wider the aperture. Meaning more light comes in, meaning the image will be brighter. The higher the f-stop, the less light the camera lets in, the smaller the hole in the lenses, meaning the image will be darker. Finally, ISO. ISO comes from film photography, and it's a ranking for how sensitive film is to light. The higher the ISO, the more sensitive it is, meaning the more an image will be exposed with the film. ISO also correlates with image quality. Try to keep your ISO as low as you possibly can for the highest quality, lowest noise image. Great, now pay attention to these settings, go out, take your new camera, start shooting. Remember, do not get discouraged. Photography, like all things, is a skill that's learned over time. Patience is key in photography. Just how you have to wait for the perfect moment for the perfect photo, you have to put the time and work in to get good at taking pictures. Thanks for watching.